Hey guys, welcome to Maths Recovery with Rebecca. So today we are going to be looking at part 4. So we've moved away from trinomials. We are going to be looking at a special type of factorizing called grouping. Now the reason why I call grouping special is because it can have 4 or more terms. All types of factorizing will take place within this one type of factorizing. And it is the act of isolating parts of the expression to do more factorizing. So basically when you're doing grouping, you're doing factorizing within factorizing. So it can become some sort of like a puzzle. And honestly, this is my favorite type of factorizing, and I think it's because of the puzzle. So let's take a look. So here's a basic example. So we have 4 terms. There's your checklist. The checklist we've been looking at the whole time. Remember, with all types of factorizing, we're looking for a common factor, but now with grouping, you have isolation techniques. Okay, so we're going to look for a common factor, but with the most basic type of grouping, you're going to look for common factors within your first 2 terms and your last 2 terms. And then what's very important here, let me get my little cursor, is you are going to keep the sign in the middle. There's a lot of common errors that happens that when you group the first 2 and the last 2, you actually put brackets over here and over here. And putting those brackets now from the beginning causes chaos, especially when this middle sign is a negative. So rather what I try and aim to do is just draw a line underneath the last 2 terms and the first 2 terms, just to try and show yourself that the brackets aren't there just yet. Okay, so what you do is you look at the first 2 terms and you see, okay, I can see a y that can come out. Last 2 terms, I can see a 4b, so it's just normal common factor. And then the goal that you're looking for, the outcome, is your 2 brackets that come out will be exactly the same. And what we see there is your 4 term has now become 2 terms, and those 2 terms have the exact same bracket going on. So take out that bracket as a common factor. And remember, when we take out a common factor, it has to divide into each term. So what have I got left over here? So I've got a y. What have I got left over here? A 4b. And there's my answer. Remember, when you factorize, the end answer is a monomial. It's one term. Let's look at some more basic examples. Okay, so the goal, isolate the first 2, isolate the last 2. Let's see what happens here. Now, if I isolate the first 2, I'm taking out a 4a squared and an x minus y. And I isolate the last 2, keeping the middle sign, it's going to be a 1. But now I'm dealing with a situation here, because I know that my brackets are supposed to look the same, but they're not looking the same. So in this last bracket, I've got to apply a sign change. And what a sign change is going to do, so I'm just going to take out a negative, and it's going to change all the signs in the bracket. So the 1 is going to become a negative 1. The y is going to become a negative y, which was initially a positive. And the negative x is going to become a positive x. Then I see that my brackets are exactly the same. Take it out as a common factor. What I'm noticing is this bracket right here is dots, difference of 2 squares. This is what I was talking about. Factorizing within factorizing. And there we go. Done. Let's look at this next one. This middle term is a negative. So remember, when the middle term is a negative, when I take out a common factor here, I'm actually taking out a negative of that common factor, which is going to change this plus. Let's look. So I'm taking out a 2a, and I get an a minus 1. And this back one, I'm taking out a negative b, which changes the sign. Okay, so that's why I put that red circle around there. And then I see that common bracket. A minus 1 and 2a minus b. Okay, so let's look at some difficult examples. What I'm seeing is this a squared minus b squared is difference of 2 squares. So that's what I see as soon as I look at this. And I know, if I think further, a squared minus b squared is a minus b and a plus b, which is, hypothetically, this guy right here when I take out that common factor of negative. Let's take a look. That is what I'm looking at. And again, let's look at our two terms. I've got this common factor over here. There they are right there. And that's my answer. Let's look at this one over here. So what I'm noticing is I've got this minus 25y. None of the letters are the same. See, I've got an m squared, and then this random y. So did you notice that the negative 25y squared is odd? Is the odd letter out, so it's got a y. And it is a square number. So those are the things that you should be looking for. They should be points like literally screaming at you. Okay, so let's look what we're going to do. I'm going to rearrange this whole thing because what I'm picking up is these first three terms is actually a trinomial. So I rearrange the trinomial in the right order. And then I'm noticing that this trinomial can't take out a common factor. It's one of those A times C trinomials. So you're going to have to go back to that video and watch it if you don't understand. I'm not going to show the factorizing. I'm going to go straight to the answer. What I'm picking up is this is 3x minus 1 and 3x minus 1 when I do the factorizing, which is actually 3x minus 1 squared. So what I'm looking at here is a higher order dots. I've got two square brackets. There's my minus, my difference between the two squares and the 25y squared. And then I'm dealing with that. So I don't know why it highlighted strangely like that, but it just did. So it was only supposed to be 3x minus 1 highlighted, so I could show you that that's going there. And this 3x minus 1 that was supposed to be highlighted. So let's go and just take a pen here. So this 3x minus 1 comes from one of these. And this is the other 3x minus 1. And then, if we go choose a different color here, this is the minus and the plus of the dots. So that's that negative, that minus and the plus. And then, let's choose a green. 25y squared is just 5y and 5y. So you can ignore my color coding that I did over there. It's very bad. I'll go fix that. But this is the situation that's happening here over here. So there's your plus minus. Sorry, that is a plus. Okay. So let's look at this checklist. So when we're dealing with grouping, you can group term 1 and term 3, and put 1 and 2, 3 and 4. It's going to make this cursor a bit bigger over here. Sign change to match brackets. That's also something that could come up. Dots and trinomials within the same thing. That was the last one we just looked at. As well as you might need to reorder terms. So these are all the things that you need to look out for when grouping. So you have to keep your eyes out because these guys can get tricky. So what I've done is I've given 7 examples over here that you can go and try out on yourself. Now obviously I don't want the video to be too long, so on the next video I'm going to have the memo up. And I do think that some of these will need to be explained to you. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. And yeah, have a great day, guys.